So, hello and good evening, everybody out there. This is Harald Selke speaking from Paderborn University. And as you can read here, that's me. And I'm a member of the Study Service of Computer Science at at Paderborn University. So what we're doing here is we're having a monthly live stream for our master program. There's always 2 live streams each month, or usually at least there are 2 live streams each month. Usually on the first Thursday each month, we have a live stream addressed in German then to our bachelor students, prospective and current students of our bachelor program. Questions all around the bachelor program. So if you're still in school, for example, or if you're somewhere else at another university and wish to come to our bachelor program, then you can join that live stream, and that will be in German because our bachelor program is in German. And then usually on the 3rd Thursday each month we have this live stream in English, and the English one is for the master program. Yeah, we're trying to answer all of your questions that you might have concerning our master program. So maybe you have already applied to us, and maybe you have already received an evaluation and you have been accepted into our master program. We've already sent out quite a few acceptance letters, so that some of you already know that they might start here. Of course, you don't have to start here when you are accepted, because you might also have been accepted to other universities, but then of course you will come to Paderborn because we're best. No, just joking. Just make a wise choice, but this live stream here might give you an idea whether Paderborn University is the right one for you. So if you have any questions concerning that, that's absolutely fine here. If you are already studying here with us in our master program, that's fine as well. You're welcome here, of course, as well, and can ask your questions. This is for future students, for students, people who are simply interested in our master program, or for people who are already studying here. So, and it might also be interesting for you if you're still considering, if you are planning to apply for the next winter semester, because the application phase for the next summer semester is already over. But maybe you have decided to come here or you're thinking about coming to Germany or to Paderborn specifically in the next winter semester, and consider applying here with us. And in that case, I can give you some information as well, of course. So give you some hints what to look out for, what the things you need to take care of in order to increase your chances of being accepted, or even if not increase your chances, but at least somewhat get a better estimate what your chances are of being accepted into our master program. Because, of course, there are many universities in Germany where you can go to, and it might be that your profile that just does not fit into our profile. So there might be a mismatch there, and at another university you might have better chances of applying there, or maybe everything is fine and it fits perfectly, and then you're welcome here, of course. So if you've got any questions about that, you're absolutely welcome. So you find lots of links below this below this video, to our website, which is the Study Service website, and from there on you will find many further links. But also there's a quite extensive list below this video here. So check those links out if you have missed this live stream and are just watching it after the fact, or if you missed something or forgot to ask something, or for whatever reason. So check out those links, and there should be lots of information there. And of course, this is not the last live stream ever we are doing, although this is the last live stream for 2023. But there will be more live streams coming in the new year, of course, so we will be continuing this. So in January, there will be again a live stream. For the bachelor program, there will be a little exception, because first Thursday next month would be the 4th of January, but I'm on vacation then, so I won't make a live stream then. But the live stream for the bachelor program, as I said, in German, will then only be on the 11th of January. And on the 3rd Thursday next month, so on the 18th of January, that is, we will then have is it the 18th? I think it is. I need to check the dates, sorry. I'm back in a second for you. Yes, it is the 18th. So 18th of January, that will then be the next live stream for the master program. So if you missed this one and you think, well, there might be some questions you have to us, well, then you can come back then. And of course, you can send us an email. As I said, the link to our website is below this video, and on that website you will also find our several email addresses, and the best one to pick is the one right at the top where we say, well, please send your requests here. You can also contact each of us members of the study service, where for people of the teaching staff who are in this study service, plus 3 secretaries. So you can contact each of us individually, but usually there's no need to do that, and it's usually not the best idea to do that, because then only that specific person will read the email, and if that person is on vacation or is sick or something like that, then that email will simply be sitting there in a mailbox and will not be answered. And you might be inclined to send it to several of us, but that's absolutely not necessary. Simply send your emails to this first address on the website where it says studyservice@upb at uni-paderborn.de. Simply send your email there, because that's a ticketing system, and there every one of us, all the 7 of us in the study service have access to that address, and then the next person who is available will then pick up that ticket and try to answer your question or get into a discussion with you or whatever. Of course, if you're already in Germany, we can also make face-to-face appointments each Thursday, each month. If you can just come by from 10 in the mornings between 10 and 11. That's just without an appointment. And apart from that, we can always make appointments. Well, not 24/7, of course, but we can always make an appointment, but not for always. But we'll usually find a date where we can agree on for an appointment. We can also discuss things in a direct conversation. And of course, emails or direct conversation is better for stuff where you give lots of personal information. So always keep that in mind. Everything you do here on YouTube is, of course, out in the public. So people might see this afterwards, of course. Well, that's what YouTube is all about. All right. So let's get started. I have, just as usual, I have prepared a couple of things, and I will just start talking. And if there are any, if there's any remarks that you would like to make, if there's any questions you have, simply post them, and then we can. I'll try to answer them. Okay. So. First thing I would like to address is for people who have not yet applied, but are thinking of applying to Paderborn University or somewhere else, but in particular to Paderborn University. And if you are in that phase currently, there's some thoughts or some ideas I would like to discuss with you. So the first thing, we often get the question, when do applications open? From when on can I apply? And the simple answer is applications are open all year round. So you can apply at any given time. So if you decide today you wish to apply, you can do it on any whatever the date is, you can always apply. The question is, for when will you be able to apply? You will only be able to apply for the next round of applications, so to speak, and the next one will be, as I said, for the summer. Our summer semester in Germany always starts on the 1st of April, and the winter semester always starts on the 1st of October. That's not when the lectures start, but that's when the semester starts, so the term starts. And you should usually be there by that date. If you come to Germany to study here and you wish to start in the summer semester, then you should be here at the place of your studies at your university on that particular date. From that particular date onwards, if it's a Sunday, there's not much going on, of course, but apart from that, that's the date that you should be there, not on the 8th of April when the lectures start, but on the 1st of April when the semester starts, because there will be things happening before lectures start. You're not required to be there, but it's a very good idea to be there, but we'll talk about that in a moment. So, and applications for the summer semester have already closed. So applications for the summer semester are always possible until the 30th of November. And then you can From then on, you can apply for the next for the next winter semester. In fact, you can apply for the next winter semester even before that, but most people wouldn't want to do that. So you can then apply for the next winter semester, as I said, starting next year in October, 1st of October. And those applications need to be in by 31st of May. So plenty of time left, but keep in mind things might take a little longer if you need some documents that you don't have handy and things like that. You don't need all of the documents ready by then. There's certain documents that you can hand in afterwards, but you need to talk to UniAssist, and that's the service provider we have who are doing the handling of all documents in the application process, and then they forward everything to us. So you never send any documents to us. So, but basically, the application process. The first thing, if you consider applying to Paderborn University for the computer science, or in fact for the computer engineering program, for example, or any other program, but in particular, I'm only talking about the computer science program here, then you should check out the website below this from the study service website, and there is another link there, and that's information for our international students or for international applications or whatever you might call it. There's a long text. It is a bit of text, but you should really read it and take everything seriously that's in there, because it's while it is quite a bit of text, there's nothing in there that is redundant or something like that. But you need all that information to make to be well informed when making your application, so that you know what your chances are, at least a little bit, if you are critical towards yourself. And of course, you'll learn which documents will be needed, because if some of the documents are missing, as I said, some may be handed in later, but at some point they will be required. And if you don't have those documents, then you've got a problem. You will not be accepted. So the first thing you always need to check then is, what is your grade? And your grade might be on some scale at your university, like for example, it might be 2.8 on a scale from 0 to 4, with 2 being the minimum value required to pass, so that to get the bachelor degree. Or it might be that you have 0 to 4, and there's a minimum of 2.2 or 2.5 or 1.5. So there's lots of different systems out there. Each and every university is different. Not every university is different, but there's lots of different standards. That's the nice thing about standards. There are so many of them. So lots of different standards that you might have been measured in. So that's your accumulated grade, so the overall grade of your bachelor, like CGPA or something like that, it's often called. And you need to check that. And as I said, it might also be a value between 0 and 10, and you need at least 5 or 6 or 4 to pass. Or it might be a value between 0 and 1,920 or something like that. So lots of different systems out there. Important thing is that you need what I would suggest, at least, you don't have to do the conversion of your grade, but then you're kind of don't know whether your grade is kind of good enough for applying with us, because there is a minimum grade that you need to have, and that minimum grade is 3.0 in the German grading system. The German grading system is a little different from what most people in most countries of the world are using. Because in the German system, the lower the value, the better the grade. So a 1.0 would be the best grade you can get. Not a 0, but a 1.0. The 1.0 is the best grade you can get. So a 1.5 would still be very good. A 2 would be good. A 3 would be acceptable. No, it's satisfactory, and a 4 would be acceptable. That's the scale we have. And you need at least 3.0. 3 at least means the value of your converted grade needs to be 3.0 or lower than that. That's important. 3.0 or lower than that. So, and you can simply find out what grade you have, because there is a tool available online that's called the Bavarian formula. That's the formula with which grades can be converted. And into that formula, you need to enter 3 dates. So sometimes we get asked, is my grade, I have a grade of 2.95, is that good enough? And the only answer we can then give is maybe it is, maybe it isn't. We can't tell you because there's 3 important points that you need to have available to convert your grade. The first is, what is the maximum grade possible? Like, for example, 4 or 10 or whatever. The second is what is the minimum grade to pass? Like as I said, on a scale from 0 to 4, it might be a 2.5, or it might be a 2, or it might be a 2.2, or it might be a 1.5, whatever. And the third is the grade you have, so your CGPA. So those 3 data you need, and then you can go to a website, and that website is below this video. There's a link to that website below this video as well. That's called the Bavarian formula. And you enter those 3 values into that formula. And if the value of your grade is 3.0 or less, that means your grade is better than 3.0 or better than 3.0, then there is a chance that you will be accepted. That's just one criterion. It's necessary, but not it's not the only requirement. There are further requirements, but that's one requirement. And if your grade is not 3.0 or better, 3.0 or below that, then that means that you can simply you simply shouldn't apply with us because you will not be accepted anyway. So you can save yourself some time and money and hopes because you won't be accepted anyway. So that's all of those numbers I'll be giving you. They are strict numbers, so there's no wiggle room for us. There's nothing where we can say, well, yes, okay, it's only a little bit higher than that, but the person seems to be a nice person or has lots of job experience, practical experience, or whatever. We simply can't do it. So the 3.0 is a strict, as all the other rules as well. Those are strict rules. Next then is if the grade that you have has a value of 1.5 or higher, in fact, higher than 1.5, 1.5 you're still good to go, but if the value is higher than 1.5, then you need to also submit a GRE certificate. So again, that means your grade is worse, so to speak, worse than 1.5. Or in other terms, as I said, up to the value of 1.5, we call a grade very good. And if you have a very good grade, then you don't need the GRE. In all other cases, you need the GRE. So please check your grade. And if your grade has a value of higher than 1.5, then please take a GRE test and submit that certificate and check your grade. So if you don't send the GRE, and if your grade has a value higher than 1.5, so if your grade is worse than 1.5, then that means you need to send the GRE, and if the GRE isn't there, then you're immediately out. Again, strict rule, and your application will be rejected immediately. We won't check any of the other things because there's one requirement that is not met, and so we simply reject your application at that point without any further checks whether you're a brilliant computer scientist or whatever. It simply doesn't matter if you did not send the GRE and were required to do so, which, as I said, is required if the value of your grade is converted to the German scale is higher than 1.5. When you take the GRE test, there's 3 categories in that test that are being tested there, and there's only 2 which we are interested in, and those 2 are quantitative reasoning and analytical writing. And in quantitative reasoning, you need at least 157 points, which is something most of our applications manage to do. And then the other one, that seems to be the more difficult one, because we see many applications where people fail to reach those 4.0 points in the analytical writing category. So Once again, those are strict requirements. So if you only have 156 points in quantitative reasoning, or if you only have like 3.5 points, for example, in analytical writing, again, your application will be rejected as long as you need a GRE. If your overall grade is better than 1.5, then you're good to go still. But otherwise, again, the GRE grade, the GRE test result would be not good enough, and then we would again reject your application. Once those non-specific, I would call them, requirements are met, only then will we start to, no, that's yet another kind of non-specific requirement, and that's the language requirement. Because you also need to provide a certificate that shows that your English is good enough. There are certain exceptions. As I said, in the other two aspects I mentioned before, or three aspects basically, there are no exceptions possible. Here are some exceptions, and those exceptions depend on where you studied. So if you studied in a country, so received your bachelor degree in a country where English is the official language, and you're also from that country, then if English is an official language there, then you don't need to send that. So for example, if you're from the US, if you're from the UK, if you are from Ireland, if you are from Australia, if you're from New Zealand, of course. But also if you are from Nigeria, for example, which is also a country where all the education is taking place in English. And if that is the case, and your bachelor program was in English, like it would usually be in those countries, then once again, you don't need an English certificate. But from all other countries, from India, from Pakistan, from Bangladesh, from Cameroon, from Tunisia, from Morocco, from Mexico, from all those places, you would need to send a certificate showing that you are good enough in English. There's lots of certificates available, like for example IELTS or TOEFL, or Cambridge Advanced English, Cambridge Certificate of Advanced English, CAE it's called, and probably the easiest to get, because it's taken online as far as I know, is the Duolingo test. And there's certain requirements, again, certain minimum values that you need to reach in order to be considered good enough in English. And those values, I didn't list them on this slide, but those values are listed on the website, Information for International Students. As I said, the link is below this video. So check that out as well. And we often get the question, well, I'm from, say, for example, India, and my medium of instruction was English. So all my complete bachelor program was, I have studied in English. But that's not enough. So medium of instruction is not accepted. That's not an official test. And you need one of those official tests, like, as I said, IELTS, TOEFL, CAE, Duolingo, one of those tests. So that's also required. And if you don't submit that test, then we won't even get to see your application, because UniAssist, the institution where you send all your documents to, they simply won't forward your documents to us. So you will be out of the application, thrown out of the application, dropped from the application process even before we see your documents. So once again, required a strict requirement, as long as you're from certain not from certain countries. And then finally, and that's now the specific ones, although this is just one sentence here, check the requirements which are listed on this website, Information for International Students, link below this video. Check those the requirements that are there with regards to computer science, because we list there that you need 20 credits in software engineering, you need 20 credits in theoretical computer science, you need 15 credits in technical informatics, and you need 15 credits in mathematical foundations of computer science. So it is always a little difficult to judge what belongs to what. So, but in general, just have a look at the Wikipedia articles, and they give you pretty good idea what theoretical computer science is, what software engineering is, what technical computer science is, and what mathematical foundations of computer science are. So you should have a pretty good idea. And from our experience, we sometimes get applications from people who have studied something completely different than computer science. You don't have to have studied exactly computer science. We get many applications from programs like computer science and engineering, or from computer applications, or from software engineering. But we also get applications from programs like, for example, electrical engineering or electrical and communication engineering. And those applications will usually be rejected because they just don't meet those requirements, and usually not just in one of those 4 areas that I mentioned, but usually in more than one. If you studied electrical engineering, you usually don't have software engineering, or at least not the amount of software engineering that is required to be accepted into our program. Same goes for theoretical computer science, although you might have made even more in mathematics than our own students have, but that doesn't compensate for the deficit in the other fields. So if you've studied electrical engineering or petrol engineering or civil engineering or things like that, you most probably won't be accepted. In fact, you will probably also not be accepted if you studied something like computer applications, because in a computer applications program, you usually, in most of those programs at least, there is not enough theoretical computer science. And what exactly theoretical computer science is, as I said, check that with the Wikipedia, for example. That's things like computability theory, like Turing machines, finite automata belongs to that. All those things, NP completeness, for example, is a topic which should be addressed there, but also data structures and algorithms. But as I said, you need 20 credits. I'm talking about credit conversion in a moment. So that's also very important, that you need to meet each of those 4 requirements that I just mentioned. So theoretical computer science, software engineering, technical computer science, and mathematical foundations of computer science, those 4 areas. And in each of one, there's a minimum requirement. And if you meet the requirements in one of them, don't meet the requirements in one of them, again, your application will be rejected, even if the others are very good. That doesn't help in that case. So those are really minimum requirements. And as I said, with computer applications programs, in many cases, we see that, for example, they don't have enough theoretical computer science. But if you think you have enough background in theoretical computer science and can prove that from the transcript of your university, then you, of course, may still apply, because we will check each and every application individually. So we don't just take a look at the program's name and then decide whether we will accept you or won't accept you. We will look into each and every application and check all of those requirements. As I said, we're going from top to bottom here. So if your grade is below worse than 3.0, that's the value is higher than 3.0, you're out at that point already. If you need a GRE and didn't send a GRE, well, then again, you're out at that point, and so on and so forth. But if you met those requirements on the top here, then we will take a look in a detailed look at the program that you studied and check each and every of those courses and try to find out if you meet the requirements. And if that's the case, then again, you're good to go. And that's the last test that we apply. So because it's also the most time-consuming one for us, so it always takes a little bit of time because, we need to have a look at all of those courses. We look through the course titles, and of course, if there is something called algorithms and data structure, then we don't need to check the contents in detail, because we know, everybody around the world will probably do something somewhat similar in algorithms and data structure. So in the case you have such a course, then we will assume that you will have learned something there, hopefully. So we don't check any details there. And also the grades in the single courses don't matter to us at all. As long as you have passed that course, again, that's fine. But as I said, you need those minimum requirements in the number of credits. So if, for example, you had a course like algorithms and data structures with, say, 5 credits, and you had another course with, for example, design and analysis of algorithms, with again 5 credits, let's say 5 credits, and so that would add up to 10 credits. And as I said, you need 20 credits. But are your credits comparable to our credits, or is it different? And that again depends. And so we also check how many credits do you have in your program. And if you, for example, have 20 credits per semester, per half year, in your course program, and we have 30 credits in ours, then we will apply a factor of 1.5. So if you had 20 credits, as I said, if you had 10 credits in the example I just mentioned, if you had 10 credits, then we would apply a factor, and you had 20 per semester, then we would apply a factor of 1.5. So you would have 15 credits in that case, but you would need 20 in theoretical computer science. So with just 2 courses like algorithms and data structures and design and analysis of algorithms, that would not be sufficient. But if there was a third course with, again, say 5 credits, for example, at your university, like theoretical computer science, sometimes courses are called like that, or something like computability or complexity theory or something like that, then you would suddenly have 15 credits in your program, and 15 times 1.5 is definitely more than 20. So in that case, you're good to go, and we would accept your application. So that's basically the reasoning behind that. So we will be converting those numbers because we know that credits are different around the world, and we need to have some compensation factors in there. But you need to come to meet that requirement of 20 credits, as I said, after conversion, that is. So that's very important. Okay, so, and those are checks you can do for yourself before you apply. So check what your grade is and check if you can apply at all. As I said, 3.0 or better. Then check if you need a GRE. And if you need a GRE, send a GRE meeting those minimum requirements mentioned above there. And then again, next check you can do is your English certificate good enough? So does that meet the minimum requirement? And then again, next check you can do is how many credits do I have in each of those 4 fields, and then you should be able to judge for yourself already what your chances are. Excuse me. So of course there's still some uncertainty there, and you might think, well, I think it might be enough in theoretical computer science, but maybe it's not. And maybe they will decide differently. Yes, that's kind of the rest uncertainty that will always be there. And please don't send us any documents for pre-evaluation, because we simply can't do that. So we really can only check your documents once you really have applied. I know that this is a bit of a bad situation because you need to invest some money for the application process. But unfortunately, we simply can't do it because we get so many applications that we simply can't answer any requests for pre-evaluations or something like that. So once you think you have a good chance of being accepted into our program, then you should send all of your documents to UniAssist. Again, link is below this video. And you need to check with them in what way you need to send the documents to them. It used to be that you needed to send them via snail mail, so post mail, but I think that's no longer the case. But I'm not familiar with all those details myself, so simply contact UniAssist and ask them in which way you need to send which documents, and they are also the ones who can tell you until when you need to send which documents, because as I said, some documents can be handed in later and don't have to be there by the 31st of May, but you can hand in some documents later. Like, for example, one of the questions we very often get is, you also need to come to Germany, to study in Germany, you need this APS certificate. And that, for example, is something you don't need to have when you apply. In fact, you don't even need it when you receive we can even accept your application, and even by that time you don't need it. You only need that before you really come to Germany. So there's plenty of time for the APS certificate, but still plan ahead, because from what I've learned is that it can take quite a while until you receive your APS certificate. So do it if you already are quite certain that you will be coming to Germany, either to Paderborn or somewhere else, then try to get that APS certificate as soon as possible, because if you have it, then you're free to choose the date when you will be coming to Germany, to fly to Germany and start your studies here. And of course, you need your visa and everything. That's all the process. So once we have accepted your application, then there will be the next, of course, next steps will be required. And this is now, the following will now be addressing those people who have already applied and have maybe already been accepted or are still waiting for the acceptance letter, because that's what happens then. Once you have applied, and all documents are complete, UniAssist takes a look at those documents. They don't just take a look at it, they do quite a bit of pre-processing for us. And then when they say, well, everything is complete, and they do some calculations for us, like, for example, the grade calculations and everything. And then they make all of your documents available to us. So there's no need for you to do anything. They will simply forward those documents to us, and then we can take a look at them. And that's where we come in and then do the computer science specific checks that I just mentioned. And the process from you having sent all your documents completely, so the last of the documents that is required to UniAssist, that from that point onwards until we receive the application, that usually takes something like 2 to 3 weeks. It may take 4, it may take even up to 6 weeks. The closer you get to the deadline, usually the application deadline, usually the more applications there seem to be. And so the waiting times just gets longer. So, like, for example, just over the last week, I received more than 100 applications, so in just 1 week. And so, yeah, that's quite a number, of course. Everybody needs to process all that stuff. And of course, we need some, and then once we have the document, we again need some time. Usually, when there's not too much around, then we sometimes can do our evaluation within a week. That's what we always try. But right now, for example, we are closer to 2 weeks. Right now, at least, in fact, we are at 8 days. But it will be a little longer, because now the holiday season starts over here in Germany. So there will be Christmas time. Tomorrow is the last day when I'm in office, and then I will be away for 2 weeks. And during those 2 weeks, not much will happen with applications. So this is a time where things take a little longer, just because, well, sometimes we take vacation as well. And Christmas time is a very important time here in Germany, if you don't know that already. So yeah, that's why things take longer in certain times of the year, certain seasons, basically. Okay, right. Yeah, that's and once we have done the check, then you need to wait, obviously, until we can tell you something, and but we will then contact you and tell you whether your application has been accepted or rejected. If it has been rejected, we will also always give you at least a short notification why it was rejected. Like, for example, you would have been required to send a GRE, but you didn't. So unfortunately, we couldn't accept your application. Or, for example, well, yes, you met all those formal requirements, but in your program there is not enough theoretical computer science, for example, which is one of the major reasons we usually encounter. So in that case, once again, we would have to say, sorry, but we can't accept your application. And you will get, as I said, just a very short, because as I said, we have many applications, but you'll at least get, in short, a reason why you were rejected. And if you think, well, they say I didn't send a GRE, but I did, because sometimes we also make mistakes, of course. In that case, of course, you can write back and say, but I did send a GRE, why didn't, you must have overlooked that, and then we'll, of course, check again. So, yeah, of course, we'll always do that. And once you get the application of acceptance, hopefully, then, of course, there will be more and more things coming up to you, and we'll talk about that in a moment. But as I can see, there are some questions, and that's why we'll answer those questions first, before I'll be talking about all the other stuff that I have prepared over there. That's why I sometimes look over there, because that's the computer standing over there where I have these things. So, hello, Zain. You're studying at International University of Applied Sciences, Computer Science, and however, if you're studying as online, that in Turkey, that is, should I go with the UniAssist option as well, because my grading system will be the German grading system? Yes, you still need to go via UniAssist. UniAssist handles all our international applications. So whenever there is an international student from I guess it is. Where is the International University of Applied Sciences located? You say it's an online university, it seems, but where is that located? Is it a German institution? It's in Berlin. Okay. I would suggest contacting our international office. They can tell you that definitely. So again, the link is below this video, the international office, and there you can contact, you'll find the contact addresses there, and there's Mr. Tortzen, and I'll talk about the people in the international office in a moment. There's Mr. Tortzen or Mr. Muruganchuru. The two of them, they will be, they are usually the ones who can answer those kinds of questions. So I would suggest asking them. You definitely have to go through the international office at some point anyways, because they are managing everything that's not everything that's got to do with our university, but is not computer science specific. So you definitely should contact them, and they can tell you whether you can send documents to them, or the usual way for international students is always through UniAssist. But this is a very special case, because your university would then be a German university, so things might be different in this case. Really not sure, sorry that I can't answer that question definitely, but as I said, Mr. Muruganchuru or Mr. Tortzen, they will be able to answer that question. Okay. So let's assume you went through UniAssist and your application has been accepted. What's happening then? And that's basically the phase we are in right now for many of you out there, because as I said, we have already sent out notifications. You have probably, if we have already evaluated your application, then you have already received at least an email, either an email by our international office, Mr. Muruganchuru, or by me. There's the names right on this slide here, so it wasn't too far away. So either you received an email by Mr. Muruganchuru telling you have been accepted or rejected, but let's assume you have been accepted, hopefully. And if you have been accepted, you will most probably also have received an email from me, and if you haven't, you will be very soon. And the email by Mr. Muruganchuru will be followed. Usually they send a short notification as far as I know, but as soon as possible they will then send an official notification to you. And with that official notification you can start the whole process of getting visa and everything. So that's very important that you need those that official notification. I can't send those things. I'm not allowed to do that. That's all things that the international office does. I can only help you with any questions related to the computer science program specifically, and for all other questions, I would always recommend going to the international office directly, or otherwise we will redirect you there. If in doubt, you can contact either one of us. But usually, you should simply ask yourself: is this something that seems to be specific to the computer science program? And then ask me or us at the study service if it's something which is, for example, regarding the further process, or if you think about how do I get to Germany, do I have any questions there? What about accommodation? And do you decide, well, yes, I have been accepted for the summer semester, but for some reason you don't want to come in April, you'd rather postpone your start of studies until the winter semester, for example. You can do that, no problem. There's no new application necessary in that case. You can simply notify the international office and tell them, well, sorry, I won't be coming in April, but I would still like to come in October. And then they will tell you, all right, fine, nice to know, but yeah, you don't lose the acceptance of your application. So once you're in, you're really in, and you can start studying here, even at a later point in time. So you don't have to reapply in that case. Okay. So as I said, all those questions, everything that's not specifically related to computer science, please ask the international office, because I won't be able to answer most of those questions. I don't have any idea about visa processes, for example, or things like that. Okay. There is, apart from contacting them and asking them questions directly, there's also a video series here on YouTube. It's already a little bit older, so it looks a little outdated if you watch it, but the information is still, in most parts at least, is still current, so still up to date. So I would recommend check that out here on YouTube. There's on our channel here, there's a video series, Study Abroad in Paderborn, and you'll find some information there. Also on our website, you will find some information for our first semester students, but I'll give you some information right now, what will be happening then or in the next phases. So, what is it? Oh, I just need some drink, sorry. Okay, so as I said, lectures, so the summer semester in April starts on the 1st of April. Lectures won't start on the 1st of April, but a week later than that. They will start on the 8th of April. And you should definitely be here by that time. So if for some reason you can't manage to be here by that time, then you will miss the first week of lectures. And in that first week of lectures, there's lots of important information that you are going to miss if you're not there. And that can already make it very, very hard for you to succeed in any of the courses in the first semester. So if you can't be here by the 8th of April, then I would immediately consider not coming in April, but rather postpone everything and start in October and then be here for the 1st of October. Again, not just for that date, but even for the 1st of October. Because even if you come only on the 8th of April, you will already have missed a couple of things. So you should definitely be here by the 8th of April. But if by any means possible, you should be here even a week before that. Because on the 2nd of April, we will start with what we call the Welcome Week or orientation days. That's the last point here on this slide. They will probably start on the 2nd of April. I don't have all the dates ready yet, but if you are here on the 2nd of April, then you should be good to go. The 1st of April is a public holiday here because it's the Easter weekend. And on Easter Monday, everything will be closed. Yeah, so be prepared if you come on that weekend. It is a long weekend, and there will be Good Friday and on the Sunday, of course, and also on Easter Monday. All shops will also be closed. It's only on the Saturday that the shops will be open. So everything basically lies down over the Easter weekend. That's a pretty normal thing in Germany. So you need to consider that if you come on that specific weekend. But on the 2nd of April, then everything will start. the semester we will start with our welcome week, and then you should be there by that date, because in that first week we will give you lots of information. Like, for example, we will introduce you to our university. You'll learn about the campus, how to find the rooms, the lecture halls, what are the important people to know, like, for example, the Fachschaft, that's the Students' Council, and because they are very helpful and they can introduce you to lots of things. You will learn a little bit about the city where you will be living for the next couple of years probably, and we will try to help you build your course plan for the first semester, for example, and you will learn lots of things, also get to know some of the people who are working here at the university and things like that. So it would be a very, very good idea to be there by the 2nd of April. So I would strongly recommend, if you are still free to plan so that you will be here by the 2nd of April, so that on the 2nd of April in the morning at 9 o'clock you can be at the university. So not arrive at Frankfurt Airport on the 2nd of April in the afternoon or something like that, but it would be really helpful to be here at Paderborn already by that date, and plan for that week. Don't plan too many other things, but plan for being at the university here. Okay, hello Martin. Nice to see you, or not see you, but hear you, or see you chatting. Okay. So, but if for some reason you can't be here, our courses will be online, will not be online, they will be in real life, and there may be lecturers who have course lecture recordings or online material available, but you need to contact each of those lecturers individually if you want to take a part in one of their lectures. So, but I can't tell you anything about who has what kind of material ready for you. But that might at least mitigate somewhat some of the problems you might have or might run into if you are coming late. So, as I said, best idea would be to be here by the 2nd of April. Second best idea would be to be here at least by the 8th of April. And if you can't make that, well, yes, okay, either postpone everything until October, or if you want to come later, well, you can of course do it. Is still possible. You can come later, but the chances that you will be able to pass any courses in the first semester, they will be drastically reduced. So just keep that in mind. So basically the first semester might be kind of lost. Of course, you can still collect lots of experiences here, like, for example, getting to know how to live in Germany, how to get around, how to organize food, how to get around the campus and things like that. Yes, okay, that's also good reasons to come to come here, even though the semester might also already be up and running for a couple of weeks. But just don't think that you will be able to pass many courses, or any courses, in fact, at all. So just keep that in mind. So do yourself a favor and be here by the 2nd of April. That would be my absolute top recommendation for the first semester, for starting your studies here. All right, so until then, there's still quite a bit of time left, and maybe you ask yourself, what could I do in the meantime? Well, yes, there's a couple of things you can do. Like, for example, you should ask yourself, as I have already mentioned, what the requirements are that we have, theoretical computer science, for example. Ask yourself, am I really fit in theoretical computer science? How much do I really know? Maybe you weren't the best of all students in that particular subjects, or maybe that those subjects were already a couple of years ago, and if you think about it for yourself somewhat critically, then you'll think, well, maybe I'm not that familiar anymore with all that stuff. Maybe I could not prove anymore, like, for example, that a specific problem is NP complete or something like that. Well, then it might be a good idea to brush up your knowledge. So find a good book, for example. There's on all of those topics, as I said, You can check what the topics are on the Wikipedia page, or you can take a look at our course catalog, which is online, of course, and try to find out what are we doing in those courses. There's this thing called module handbook that you find on our website, again, the website of the study service, and then on the right-hand side there's lots of links, and there's one link to the module handbook. And in that module handbook, you can take the module handbook from the bachelor program. It is in German only, but still you will be able to check for the literature recommendations that the lecturers are giving in a way in that module handbook. And so you might check, for example, well, there's a good book by, say, or whatever, on algorithms and data structures, for example, or on computability theory, or on operating systems, if you think that you're missing good knowledge in operating systems, and that might be something you think that might be important for you in the future. So just use your time that you have, and try to identify for yourself where you are. Maybe have some weaknesses. Everybody of us has those weaknesses in some area. So try to find those out. Be critical towards yourself and ask yourself, where should I improve something? Or maybe it's in mathematics, for example. You say, well, mathematics, yet okay. I somehow managed to do it, and I had quite a bit of mathematics, but it's so far away from me right now that I'm not really confident that I'm really, really good at it anymore. So that might also be a consideration. Another very important thing is that you need to be aware of good scientific practice. And I know that this is a problem for students from many countries, because it depends very much on the kind of the way in which academic education is being done. And we, for example, even in our bachelor program, we have something like a seminar. We call it pro-seminar. It's a pre-seminar, so to speak, because it's not a seminar would be in the master program, and you will have to take part in a seminar when you are here. And there's something which we call pre-seminar, which is the one in the bachelor program, which is not so hard. It's a little bit easier. And the level is a little lower than in a real seminar. But you learn to do scientific work there. And the second thing that we have in our bachelor program is a bachelor thesis. And there are universities out there, or even complete countries out there, that don't have bachelor theses in their bachelor programs. We do, and people learn how to do scientific work, like, for example, how to reference literature, how to deal with other sources, how to incorporate ideas of other people into your scientific work by giving due credit to those people who did the other work, because science is not about doing everything new, but science is very much about building on ideas of other people, but crediting those other people. And it's very, very important. It's not just about quoting exact quotes from other people, but also taking over ideas or comparing your own ideas to the ideas of other people. All those things need to be in a good scientific work. That's good scientific practice. And this is something you need to get used to. And if you didn't have the chance to practice that in, for example, something like we have here in our program in this pre-seminar, or in the bachelor's thesis, because you didn't have a real bachelor's thesis. Maybe you just had a final project in your bachelor program with some documentation of a software, something like that, but you didn't do any scientific work in the stricter sense. Then you didn't get the chance to practice these things, and then those things will be difficult for you. So it might also be a good idea. There is lots of good literature out there, hints on maybe even YouTube videos. I don't know. I didn't check for those, but there's good books out there that explain how to do good scientific work, either with relation to computer science or in general. It's usually a more general problem. It's not so much related to computer science, but of course there are computer science specific aspects in there as well. So if you find something which does that with respect to computer science, it might be even more helpful. And in particular, make yourself familiar with the problem of plagiarism. If that word doesn't ring a bell with you, then it's definitely something you should check out. So plagiarism is something we very often encounter here, and in most cases we believe, at least we still believe it, that people don't do it because they want to betray us or something like that, or betray someone else, but they do it without really being aware of the problem of plagiarizing. But that doesn't change anything, because plagiarism is still plagiarism, whether you wanted to do it or you just did it accidentally. Once it's plagiarism, then you are in serious trouble, really serious trouble. So that's something that you should also make yourself familiar with that concept and how to avoid plagiarism. Another very important thing, and that's also something that is a little difficult for many people, not just for international students, also for our own students, and also for example, students who come from universities of applied sciences here in Germany, which are a little more, kind of like little more organization-wise, so that the institution, the university does, or the school does more of organizing or helping you in organizing things. But at the university, and that's not just true for Paderborn University, that's true for basically every university. As I said, with a little, not so much at the universities of applied sciences, but in particular at the normal universities, which don't have a university of something, especially of applied sciences after that. So in universities, you usually need to organize yourself. So there's no one telling you, well, you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to register for this, for this exam, for example. If you don't register for an exam and you miss the deadline, then that's your problem. Nobody else will do anything about that. If you don't visit a lecture because you think, well, I've got something else to do, I would rather go to earn some money or have a party or whatever, that's your decision. You can do that. We won't force you into anything. There's nobody there who will check if you are, whether you are there in a course. There's no. You're not required to be in the course, but it is very helpful to be in the course because you will learn something there. But if you're not there, then that's your decision. So we won't do anything about that. And the same goes for organizing your study in general. So to make sure, for example, that you at one point will be able to write your master's thesis, because there might be some requirements for that. And yeah, that's your responsibility to do that, to meet those requirements. So organize yourself in all aspects of your everyday life as well as your study program. Having said that, we won't leave you alone. We will help you, but we will not come running after you. So if you decide to go on into a deep dive and never talk to anyone at the university, then again, that's your decision, but then there won't be anybody who can help you. If you need help, or if you are uncertain, it doesn't have to be some great problem or something like that. Just simply if you are uncertain, if this is the better idea or that is the better idea, if you should do this or whether you should do that, you can talk to us. We are there for you. So we always have our regular office hours where you can come by. And apart from that, we have these live streams here. You can contact us by email at any time, and we can make appointments to meet with you in person and discuss any problems related to computer science and studying here, of course. We can't help you with all of your problems. There might be hopefully you don't have any other problems, but if there might be other people who can help you better than we can. But even in that case, you can talk to us and we can maybe help you find someone who can solve your problem. Like, for example, we often have, that's really no secret. We have people here who have psychological problems, for example. Many people are away from their home countries for the first time for a long time, and maybe they feel alone, and maybe they feel overwhelmed by everything, not just the course program, but also by living in a foreign country and everything. And that's something where we personally can't help. We are no experts in psychology, but we know who is. So you can, and even in those cases, you can talk to us. Excuse me. You can talk to us, and then we can help you find someone who can hopefully help you. That's basically the idea. All right. So, and of course, it's not just us, not just the study service, but you can also talk to your lecturers. And this is also something that people from other countries sometimes have problems with, because depending very much on the culture at your university or in your country, it may be very different, that it's not common to talk to a professor, for example. And here at our university, that's perfectly normal. You can talk to when you have a lecture, you can immediately after the lecture, you can go to the lecturer and talk to him or talk to them. And when they don't have just don't have time at that moment, because that might be because they have another appointment or the next lecture or whatever, then they will at least tell you, well, don't have time for you right now, but send me an email and we'll make an appointment, or just come by in my office hours, which is at that time, and then you can go there. So you really can talk to everybody here, not just us at the study service, also the people in the administration, for example, the examination office, for example, and also the lecturers. Even if the lecturer is a professor, you can talk to them directly. There's no reason not to do that. So definitely do that. Okay. So that's all of those general things, and then I'll make it short. I'll not talk too much about it, but at least a little bit for planning for your first semester. Just a few aspects there. I won't go into all of the details, but what you can do before you come here, you can check the course catalog. The course catalog is available at it's called paul.uni-paderborn.de. Again, link is below this video. You can check that, and there you can you'll find that I can't give you any direct links because the system is a little strange concerning links. So you always have to start on the homepage of the system. So you go there, and then you'll need to click through this path: Faculty of Computer Science, Electrical Engineering, and Mathematics, then Computer Science, and then Computer Science Studies, and then the Master Studies. And there you'll find our course catalog. The course catalog for the upcoming semester is not yet public; it's still being worked on, but it will be at some time late January, I would say. But you can already, for example, take a look at last summer semester, because you will be arriving in April for the summer semester. You can already check the last summer semester, summer 2023, and that would give you a good idea of what kinds of courses will be offered in the upcoming summer semester, because most of our courses are being offered on a yearly basis. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to register with anything. In fact, you can't register for anything before you arrive here. Or you can't register for anything before you aren't officially student of the university, and you'll only be official student of the university starting on the 1st of April. So usually, simple answer is you can't register, or and there's in fact no need to register before the semester starts. So usually before you arrive here, unless you arrive very, very late, of course. In that case, semester start is a good point in time when you can register for courses, but not until then. Forget the last sentence of those 3 points. Listing is virtually complete. That's nonsense, of course, because once it should read, once the course catalog is public in late January, the listing will be virtually complete, but there might still be minor changes. So it's not yet, everything is not yet guaranteed at that point in time. But once you are here, beginning of April, everything will be fixed, and we will know. You will know which courses you can take, and then that's the point in time when you can finalize your. Even then, you don't need to finalize, but then you're planning, because you can still make changes after that. But that's a good idea that's a point when you should have a good idea of what you will be doing in the summer semester. But we will do all of those things with you in the orientation days, in the welcome week once you are here. So that's why it's so important to be here on the 2nd of April, because during that week we will make all of this planning together with you, individually, with each one of you. So it's not one size fits all. Everybody of you might want to take a different path through our program, and that's perfectly fine, and we'll help you organize that together with the Student Council, the Fachschaft, So those are older students, students in higher semesters, and they will help you with that because they have a different perspective, of course, than I have, because they have taken part in those courses themselves in many cases, and so they can tell you much more about those courses than I can, because I haven't taken any of those courses, of course. All right, so last thing for today is this slide here, that once you look into that course catalog, once it's online, once you see something there, and if you already want to do, get some ideas of what you might want to do, then you will see a number of entries there, and the first 7 entries are what we call the focus areas. So those are different areas of interest, and there's 7 of them, like for example algorithm design and data science and intelligent systems and computer systems, network communications, software engineering, and security. Those are the 7. All right, got them. Otherwise I would have had to quit my job. So those are those 7 areas, and that's where the regular courses, the normal courses, so to speak, are being offered. That's normal courses. By that I mean that will be lectures together with tutorials. That's the normal kind of courses that you take, and you will need to take currently 8 of those courses over the complete course of your master program, over the 2 years, which is the regular length of the master program, though you may take longer. We won't throw you out after 2 years or something like that, so you can take longer, so that you don't need to feel pressured to really do everything in so many things in your first semester. But in general, you should take 5 courses for the first semester from those 7 areas. Maybe you won't manage all of them, but that's fine. We'll talk about all of those things later on. But the recommended workload is 30 credits. That's our credits, as I already mentioned that before, 30 credits. Each of our courses has 6 credits in the master program. Of those normal courses, has 6 credits in our master program, and you need, so basically that means that you would take 5 courses to meet those 30 credits. You might find out that this is too much for various reasons, but that's basically the idea. And so the recommendation would be to go through the course catalog, as I said, once it's online, just those first 7 entries, those focus areas, and check if there is any course that sounds interesting to you. Check the titles of the courses, and if you think, well, that course sounds pretty interesting, then you can have a look at the module handbook, as I said, on the website of our study service. On the right-hand side, there's the module handbook, and the master module handbook is available in English, and you can check that and see, so that you don't just have the title of the course, but also get an idea what is the content of the course, what are the prerequisites of the course. So usually there are not many prerequisites, but it gives you an idea about the at least no formal ones. But it gives you an idea of what the course will be about, and then you might think, oh, well, that course sounds pretty interesting. I might want to take that course. And then you take yourself a mental note or do it in some kind of note-taking application or whatever, and write down which courses you would like to take, and pick 5 courses. Then you can go to another web page of ours, which is also linked below this video here, because we have a list of self-assessments. And those self-assessments are something which is just there for you, so you can take this test. We won't ever see anything, any of your answers there. We won't know anything about that. But you can take a small test there, and that test, that unfortunately they're not available for too many of our courses, but they are available for some of our courses at least. And those self-assessments are meant to check whether you bring along those requirements that those lecturers expect you, those things that lecturers will expect you to know before you start the course. So they're not checking any content of the course, but they will give you an idea, well, all right, this data science course, for example, this machine learning course, for example, sounds very interesting. I would like to take that. And then you'll maybe find out, oh, well, that's quite a lot of mathematics that's needed in that course. I didn't expect that. And maybe then you find that out in the self-assessment, and then you think, well, okay, my mathematics is not quite up to date here. And in that case, you have basically three possibilities of what you can do. The one thing is you can go to the course anyways and then see if you can cope with it. Or, which would be clever, I guess, you can, because it's only late January, you can start and say, well, I might brush up my mathematics a little bit. And then you can try to find out what you can do to improve your mathematics knowledge so that you might be better able to follow that course and have better chances to pass the course. Or, of course, you might simply drop the course. That's the third possibility you have. You don't have to drop it because you didn't select it in the first place, because we're still in the planning phase, but you simply drop it out of your mind, basically. So you say, oh, well, I won't take that course. There's other interesting courses as well. So as I said, check that out next, and then pick 5 courses, and then wait for the semester start. And then we'll meet in early April. As I said, we will be there from the study service. There will be people from the Fachschaft, the Students' Council will be there. And you will be able to talk to lots of people. Then you can visit the first lectures and see if the course really is interesting for you, or if even after the first lecture you say, well, it sounded interesting, but it seems it isn't. Or maybe you say, well, that's really what I wanted to take as a course, and then you'll stick with the course and take that course for the semester. So just to prepare for the semester, if you want to do that. You can also come here and say on the 2nd of April and say, well, I don't know anything yet, but I'll just start studying here and see what happens. That's also fine as well. But in that case, the better you are prepared, the better your chances are, of course, that you will be able to pass a couple of courses, maybe even all of them. Okay. I always talked about those first 7 entries in the PAUL system at that place where I led you to in the Master's Studies program. And when I say there's 7, the first 7, then there are obviously more than that. And in particular, there are ones which are called a seminar and a project group, and you can't take those. If there's any other entries, they are not for our master program. They are for different study programs. But apart from that, there's also seminars and project groups. But in your first semester, you won't be able to select a seminar or project group. So you can simply ignore whatever is in there. You can take a look in there, of course, if you are interested in what seminars and what project groups are being offered, because in the next semester you will most probably take a seminar and a project group probably, and but those will be different. There will be different topics available, so it doesn't help you very much to already take a look at the seminars and project groups of the summer semester, because you can't take part in those. And the ones in the winter semester, there will be new ones then, but they will be different in topic. From the topics will be different, and so you don't learn much by taking a look there. You still might be curious, of course, and that's absolutely fine. As I already said, 5 modules, 30 credits, that would be the kind of the plan, if you're studying according to plan. But that plan might prove to be too ambitious, because you might also want to take language courses. You're not required to take German language courses once you're here, or have taken any before. You don't need any German language knowledge if you want to do your master program here. But of course, it's recommended that you learn at least some German, because it just helps you getting around. And if you want to get a job, for example, while still studying here, that's also something which employers usually, well, not really require maybe, but it's often it's something which is employers often like to see, that people do these kinds of things. And also, of course, it might be something for you just to feel better in this foreign country. Because you at least need speak a little bit of the language. So that's a recommendation, that you might take some language courses, for example. Of course, you need to get used to living in Germany, which will be very different probably from the country where you're from, depending on the country where you're from, of course. You need to get used to the German university system with all its quirks and everything. So things might prove hard. Also, as I already mentioned, there might be psychological problems, because maybe you're so far away from home for the first time for a long time, and you might feel alone or something like that, which can keep your motivation, or can lower your motivation, or something like that. So there might be lots of reasons why a workload of 30 credits is too high. And if that's the case, That's absolutely fine. Well, it would be better, of course, if it's not, if you're doing better, if you don't have any problems. But if there is, there's no need to despair, because, as I said, if you get out of sync with the normal plan, so to speak, we won't throw you out after 2 years. So if you are lagging behind or something like that, that's nothing we take. That's not much of a problem. Of course, you should be able to complete some courses at least, not nothing, but at least some courses. But as I said, it might not be 30 credits that you manage in the first semester, and that's okay. Again, there will be strategies that I can recommend to you on how to pick courses, or what kinds of courses to drop first. It's not the same courses for everybody, so I won't tell you, well, this is a course I would drop, would be the first course to drop if I were you. That's not something I will tell you, but rather what the criteria for deciding which courses to drop. We can talk about those things, but that's far away. We can talk about those things once you are here in April, and then we can, once the semester has started, and you can then check what the workload is that you can cope with and that you can manage, and then we'll talk about all of those things at some point in the future. So plenty of time until then. So for now, I would like to call it a day. We will be back online here on YouTube for the master program on the 18th of January. There will be another live stream for the bachelor program, as I mentioned at the start of this video, on the 11th of April, not on the 4th of April, but on the 11th of April in German for the bachelor program. So that's a different audience than you are, probably, at least you are. And so for the master program, the next one will be on the 18th of January. So you're welcome back here again on that date. And there might be more questions coming in. Didn't have too many questions tonight, but maybe there are more questions out there by that time, because we also will have sent out more acceptance letters by that time. So more people of you might already know that they have been accepted to Paderborn University, and that might lead to some more questions, and we can talk about some of the things I mentioned today again, no problem at all. And I've also got some more things which I would like to talk about then, because our master program will in fact change in the next winter semester. There won't be major changes, and if you are starting in April, then you can complete your program in the old. According to the old regulations, but the new regulations will have some improvements. So things we would probably recommend switching to the new regulations, but I'll talk about the differences and everything in one of the next live streams, either next month in January or in the one in February. I should already warn you, because if you are coming in April and you think, well, there will be another live stream in March. No, there won't, because that's the one. There's two exceptions. As I said, we always have usually on the first and third Thursday each month, but in fact it's not each month. There's 2 months where we don't have a live stream, and the one is in March and the other one is in September. So that's the time that I keep myself free for some vacation or going to conferences or whatever. So those are the dates when I won't be available. So that's why in March and in September there won't be a live stream. So if you have any questions regarding your start of studies in April here at Paderborn University in the computer science program, I would strongly recommend to come here. If you want to ask any questions, at least to come here and visit the next live stream here on 18th of January, or then the one in February, whatever that third Thursday in February will then be. I don't have the exact date at hand right now. All right, so that's it for today. In fact, not just for today, but even for this year, because this is the last live stream of this year. And so I wish you a Merry Christmas, if that is your thing. I wish you a good start of, first of all, a good end of 2023, and then a good start into 2024. And maybe I'll see you then sometime in Paderborn, at Paderborn University, if you have been accepted to us, if you decide to come here, because us accepting you is one thing, and you accepting us is the other thing. That's your decision as well. You might have also considered other universities, but as I already said, of course, Paderborn University is the best. So, of course, you will be coming here if we have accepted you, because which other place might there be that might be better? Well, of course, there might be other places that are at least equally interesting than ours, but I can't admit that because otherwise, well, I would not be doing my job right here. Okay, so stay safe, stay healthy, and see you next time around. Bye-bye.